back on the second channel, the Mark II channel. If you're looking for the main channel, the link's in the description. We finally fixed the Range Rover after 7 months of rebuilding. It had the weirdest fault, which I couldn't solve. But before we get onto that, we've got some work to do on the Lamborghini. What we've done, taken the cold side off the turbos, absolutely wham. Gonna get them powder coated. You'll see the colour in a minute. So that's what they look like now. We're thinking of getting a titanium exhaust, which comes out here. We might as well just go full send because this is looking a little bit weathered, but we can run this with the bumper on. So I think some big whams in the middle looking carnage.
And I think because it's time for a makeover completely, let's go for a complete new look and then make use of this here and build a crash bar stroke chassis mounted big wang.
I was more thinking a tow bar, but yeah, Chris wants to do a chassis mounted wing there, but don't know how I feel about that. It's a bit much, but I think, yeah, 2 big whams there. What else are we modding? Oh, whilst it's here, I need to explain why it's here.
We are PPFing the entire car.
Yeah, because I want it to stay black now, so it looks like just mega. So it's going to go all black. Chris is cleaning it up and then PPF, so it'll be mad shiner. And then it's ready for some hooning in the summer because I don't really drive it that often and I'm looking forward to driving it, but all black without getting stone chips.
Be phenomenal.
So check back once the powder coating's done and the PPF is done and it's going to look fantastic. It's going to be such a transformation, isn't it, Chris?
Be brilliant!
And just like that, it's done. I know it looks so different on camera, but it is actually mad clean, full PPF. Look, you can barely see the edges on it. It is crazy, absolute craziness. We've got the bumper, kept it off. And the next thing is these turbos as well, the cold side. Got new filters, big boy ones. Look at them. Bright orange. And Chris, do you know, because a load of people are watching this might want the car PPF in, how much would it cost?
A full car PPF, a small to medium sized car, you're looking at about $5 front end. Don't worry, I charge Matt double that 'cause he's a good friend.
Thank you.
A front end, which is like, wings, bonnet, bumper, you might be looking between £1,600 to £1,800 for a small to medium.
That's not bad, and it protects the paint.
Protects the paint.
Stops you from swirls.
No swirl marks, and extra gloss and reduced orange peel. Because look at that.
And you can make it look matte, couldn't you? Like
Make
you could
it
have.
look matte. We can add sparkles.
Wow.
We can add glitter.
Wow.
Fairy dust.
Wow.
What else can we do? We can, you can put like pearlescent tints on it.
Yeah.
You can basically do anything.
That's really cool. But on mine, we've just gone extra gloss and now it's sensational. Let's get these turbos on and show you the final result and go for a hoon. There we go. New turbo is on. Time for the new K&N because the old ones are cruddy and small, and now we've got big boys.
Whoa.
That'd be wobbling around. There's a reason why it's small.
Yeah.
That looks sick.
That's so much better.
Onto this one. And there it is, looking fresh. What are we thinking about a full titanium exhaust, like coming out the center, I think, and then keep this one for when I put the bumper on it in the winter or something like that. But that is looking crazy. Sick. Cheers, Chris. So the Range Rover's had an issue ever since we've rebuilt it. And I always thought it was to do with the tracking, but it wasn't. It's actually to do with something else, and we've only just solved it the other day. Well, we think we've solved it. We've got to strip apart pretty much most of the interior to do it. And the issue is, we have always had these faults here. No stability control, adaptive dynamic fault, HDC not available, and that is about it. And because of that, we have no traction control, no cruise control. We can't adjust any of these settings. It just won't let you because there's no traction control. And I always just thought this was because the tracking was out, and once the tracking was set right, all the wheel speed sensors would calibrate each other in, but no, it didn't work. And I'll tell you the issue in a minute. First thing I've got to do is take the seats out. So take them caps off, and there's 4 of these bolts each side. I'll do this one. Hannah will do that one. Seats are out. Next step, gotta get this whole center console out. This is out the way just enough now. And this is our issue. This is the restraint control module. And remember, if you remember from the Range Rover videos when I rebuilt this, I had an airbag light on, even after replacing all the airbags. Normally, on German cars, you can reset it using a diagnostic tool, but on this, you have to send off the airbag ECU, which is this, to be reset. Now, instead of doing that, I just bought a new one with no airbag.
Brand new second-hand.
Well, yeah, it was a brand new second-hand. It was a used one. I bought a used one off eBay with no airbag faults on it, so it's not been in a crash. Plugged it in and it turned the airbag light off, but little did I realise I had all the other faults afterwards, which I just thought it was to do with the tracking and everything like that until the car gets tracked up. Turns out it wasn't. So these airbag ECUs are actually coded to the VIN of the car they come off. So getting a second-hand one, it's locked to that VIN, and well, according to some Jaguar Land Rover specialists, it's very hard to they call it virginize them. That's the actual term they used. It's hard to virginize them off one car and then code it to another car. So a good thing to do would be to put back the old one, which was actually coded to this car, and reset the airbag module. But because it's been so long, I've thrown our airbag module. I don't have it anymore. So our only option was to buy a new one. This is the brand new one. This was £479 from Jaguar Land Rover, and I had no choice. And you can tell it's new because the pins in it are really short because that plastic hasn't been pushed in yet. Whereas on the old one, see how far the pins actually stick out. This also as well controls all the ABS and everything like that, which is crazy. I just thought it was an airbag module.
And the cruise control.
And cruise control and everything like that. I don't exactly know what's going to happen when I plug this in, but I'm going to plug it in, bolt it all up, put everything back in. Then we have a guy coming over who can code the new one to the car. But if it works without coding, then it's a win-win. But apparently you do need to have these coded, and it's the same on Mark 8 Transit vans as well. I assume it's the same on every Jaguar as well, Land Rover, that type of stuff. Let's put this in and we'll see how it goes. Oh, and also what this is as well, not only a restraint module, it also has the yaw sensor built into it. And the yaw sensor, this is why like the cruise control and all the other modes don't work. The yaw sensor is like a sensor which is usually bolted to like the chassis of the car at like a low point. Imagine it like a spirit level bubble. So when the car accelerates, the bubble will go to the front. And then also when you turn in left, right and everywhere like that, it'll be rocking round.
So when you turn left, will it go right?
It'll go to the right, yeah.
Wow.
So because of that, that's why all these settings on here don't work. Because if the car's unbalanced, then it'll be able, these settings will be able to adjust.
See the
you know, like the off-road settings, like the snow and the mountains.
I've never actually used any of them, and it's really sad. And
Yeah.
neither does the air suspension work very well.
Yeah, like this car feels really boaty, but
Yeah.
it might be because of this, but we'll see afterwards. It might drive better.
I'm excited to see a new car.
Like if this actually works, then we should have like a transformed car. Like the air suspension should be really good after this, because it'll have the yaw sensor and everything built into it, ABS module. This box could transform this car.
I'm hoping it does.
But,
It's
yeah,
not a bad car to drive as it is.
We've
but
had it this long without it because
7 months.
and I've literally looked at everything to try and solve this. Like I checked all the ground wires for the ABS, checked like the ABS module, and I could not solve it.
You thought at one point there was something that was not plugged in here.
Yeah, I thought
so
I'd not plugged
all
something
this
in.
came out again, but
And then
it
we
was fine.
We realised at 5 in the morning when we was getting the hotel to, when we was getting the flight to Florida, I was like, oh, let's watch back the Range Rover video. And let's see, after I plug this in, did I get those traction control lights on?
I think you should insert the video now.
Yeah. So everything is plugged in. Everything important is plugged in, but we've not bolted anything in yet, just in case we need to take it all out because this airbag module doesn't work. Let's see if it's cancelled the light off. Please don't let me get whacked with an airbag. Airbag light has gone. That's it. Yeah, boy. Airbag light's gone. That's completely gone. We've got a few more faults here and everything, but they should go off once we drive it. If you see on the video, I plugged this in, and yes, I had an airbag light on before, but when I plugged the used one in, I had no airbag light, but that's when all the traction lights on. But I was so distracted by the airbag light coming off that I didn't notice the traction lights coming on. I thought they were always on, but no. Let's put this all together, check back with you once it's together. Right, everything is plugged in and we've still got 1,000,001 faults. But Chris is here from Royals JLR, that's how it's pronounced, isn't it?
Yeah, Royals JLR.
Yeah, and you need a special equipment. What's the equipment called?
SDD, so it's Jaguar Land Rover software.
Of course it is. So Jaguar Land Rover, you need a special equipment from it, and he's going to basically code that new module to the car and hopefully get rid of all those faults, and hopefully I haven't broken anything. We'll soon find out. He's going to work his magic now. Chris has been and gone, and
Oh God, what is this seating?
who would have thought? All the lights on. Everything off.
What does that mean?
That's your mode you're in.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so you
I've
can
never had the option before.
you can change the mode. No lights on the dash. Who would have thought it would have been because of that restraint module? No more warnings. Let's go test it out. Good news, all seems to be working. Is it working?
Yeah.
Finally! The cornering has improved dramatically. Like without that thing, it actually goes around the corners flat now. Like I thought these cars were just boating, and if you're a passenger, it makes you feel sick. Now, this is a really tight corner. Oh my God, it handles so much better. That is way better. After 7 months, finally fixed it. Range Rover is fixed. Now, back onto the Murcielago, and you guys all saw the first start of it. But that was just the tip of the iceberg, really. We've now got to get it running, and hopefully for the first drive, which we're gonna hopefully get done by this Sunday. Stay tuned for the main channel video. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Could be your alpha, could be your Romeo. Tell them boys back up, I ain't going nowhere. I'ma for that back up, put it on your story so all your friends see it, everyone can see it. And we going and going and going.